Okay, so look at Zelda Breath of the Wild at 21:9. I held off covering this until the 1.9.0 version became available so we could get the best experience possible, and wow, this emulator has come so far so quickly. You can now play Zelda Breath of the Wild completely, and to top it off, you can do it at 21:9. It's easy to get going, extremely easy if you've already set up Cemu at 16:9, and yeah, it's just fantastic. So I'm not going to explain how to set up Cemu here, another time I'll do a setup guide, but the best bet for simply getting Cemu running is to use BSOD's guide, link in the description to that video. Just follow his steps and you'll be up and running in no time with no issues. However, the confusion, at least for me, set in when trying to work out how to get this running at 21:9. I had people saying use Cheat Engine or Memory Searcher, and none of this worked for me. However, I finally realized that all you need is an ultra-wide graphics pack. So again, link for that down below, but if you followed BSOD's setup guide, you'll already have come across the graphics pack bit, where you move a load of graphics pack folders from your downloaded file into Cemu. However, what is missed in his video is that the file we want is actually found inside the quality folder as opposed to the enthusiast folder. You're looking for the folder called Breath of the Wild 2160UW. Just make sure you have moved or copied that folder into your Cemu graphics pack folder, then load up Cemu, hit Options, Graphics Packs, and expand out this window. You'll see lots of things you can tick. You want to make sure that you've ticked the one called The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild 2160p 4K 21:9. I also ticked the higher quality shadows one as well. This graphics pack option can be found within the downloaded full set of graphics packs folder within the enhancement folder. Again, just make sure you have a copy of that in your Cemu graphics folder so you can select it. I hope that makes sense. Now the next thing to do is hit Options and Full Screen Scaling and make sure it's on stretch, not aspect ratio. Now you're free to start up the game. You'll see that the game now correctly shows off more on the sides of the screen at all moments. There is no pop-in or lighting issues associated with the extra screen space. However, beyond the gameplay and in-game cutscenes, which are also 21:9, the rest of the game unfortunately just stretches to use the entire screen space. So the HUD, pre-rendered cutscenes, menus, screen effects, and loading screens all stretch across the screen. However, I do like the uniformity, as it's not like there is something broken with any part of them. It would just at least be nice to have the HUD scaled to the sides properly. It's a bit unrealistic to ever expect the menus or loading screens to see actual 21:9 support. Performance-wise, the game is a bit quirky, so the first thing to do is make sure that you have selected the GX2 Set GPU Fence Skip hack in the Options tab, so that the game runs significantly better. Now, regardless of this boost in performance, the game, whilst 80% of the time can hold 30 FPS nicely, the other 20% of the time it is fluctuating around the 25 to 30 FPS range, so it doesn't feel smooth. Well, 30 FPS is never smooth, but a steady 30 FPS is a little more bearable than an unsteady 30. By the way, in case you haven't realized yet, the game is frustratingly locked to 30 FPS, and it doesn't look like a fix is likely to ever come, as it seems physics is locked to the frame rate, so unlocking the FPS would break the game. I still live in hope though. Another quirk with the FPS is that whilst on the surface, the game doesn't really ever go above 30 FPS, when in shrines, the FPS locks to 60. However, like I said, the game isn't actually running at 60 FPS, it's just running twice as fast. So this is a little annoying. However, I won't deny that I actually loved how beautifully smooth the game felt in these sections, and I just dealt with the extra speed. It didn't make anything unplayable, some things were a little more difficult, but I had no problem progressing nicely. However, if you want to stop this happening, then lock Cemu in NVIDIA control panel to half its refresh rate, or just set your PC max refresh rate to 30, and that should stop it going up to 60. By the way, all of this is on my i7-7700K on a GTX 1080 Ti with 16 gigs of DDR4 RAM, so it really isn't a hardware issue that's causing these FPS issues, it's an optimization thing, and that is just improving as new iterations of Cemu come out. Now, another issue the FPS instability caused was cutscenes kind of overlapped themselves. The king, for example, here, when he's talking to you, his voice overlaps with the next line at times, so you hear him twice at the same time reading different lines, and it's a bit confusing to follow, but it's not completely impossible to follow, and I'm sure this kind of thing will be ironed out with a more stable frame rate.
You are taken to the Shrine of Resurrection.
Words of
Here
guidance
you
you
now
have been
stand,
hearing since your
revitalized
awakening
100
from
years
Princess
later.
Zelda herself.
Another issue I ran into when trying to start Cemu was it wouldn't load up, shouting out an error message. It turns out that I needed to turn off active threat control on Bitdefender before it would then start up, so remember that if you're running Bitdefender. The last issue I ran into was actually at the end of recording. I started seeing these coloured squares everywhere, like the textures were corrupted or something, but clearly they weren't, as the coloured squares were rendering in a radius around me, like a line of sight thing. Again, I'm not sure what it was to do with, but it did only occur in the part of the map that I hadn't uncovered with a tower yet, so I'm hoping again this will be ironed out in a future update. Overall, this game is bloody fantastic. It deserves its high review scores. Well, I wouldn't quite give it as high a set of scores as people did, but it is still totally worth playing. It's smart and the gameplay is very well built, and in this fantastic state it is so worth the effort of setting up Cemu and putting up with the horrendous 30 FPS just to play. I wish Nintendo had released this on PC themselves, but at least Cemu is doing a brilliant job of filling in their lack of support. Anyway, I'm going to give this game a WAF score of 2. Whilst there is 21x9 support, it is limited to just gameplay and some cutscenes. However, whilst the rest of the game does just stretch itself to work, at least it's uniform and it isn't broken in any other way. So I hope that gives you some information on how the game runs at 21x9. Give this video a like if you found it helpful and subscribe for future info. For any of the games at 21x9, head over to my channel or the WAF website. Hopefully I've covered it. If I haven't, then leave a comment down below and I'll try and cover it. And if you'd like to support the channel, the links to my Patreon page are in the description and Amazon affiliate links are there too. See you later.